Good evening, my friends, and welcome to the next episode of Syberia 2. We are on Syberia. Is anyone here? We've opened the gate to what I assume is the village. Let's check it out. This could be the final episode of Syberia 2. We're here. Hans has already gone in. We're going to follow him in. Tell you what, if no one's here, he's going to be well sad. Is there going to be a mammoth, though? I think part of the whole motivation for wanting to come here was to see the mammoths. Is that a mammoth? Okay, so we've got a little device here, but let's go and chat to Hans first. No.
So beautiful, isn't it?
It's very foggy.
Syberia.
Do you really think there are mammoths out there?
Yes, Kate. Play the song that calls them.
What? You're going to call them?
Yes, with the flutes, like the ancient ukos.
Do you know how they work?
No.
Okay. Let me try.
Kate sighs. It's like, any idea from you? No. You will know. When the time comes, you will know. Okay, what do we got here? I mean, yeah, kind of looks like it's spear. Oh, well, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots to put that in. I mean, we've got the Ukiol medallion right here. But, like... can we not just do it from the literal shape of the thing? So, like, this one's the most jaggedy. That one looks like it would go there. In fact, is it... yeah, like, I think you can just do it from the shape of them, right? Maybe. I don't know. It looks like that will go there. Okay. We got an ivory key. Interesting that it's very much the same shape as a Voralberg key, isn't it? Okay, we've got a different device this time. That looks like it could fit a Yuki in it. Oh. Oh no! What is this? Okay, we take the ivory key back. Oh.
This thing's stuck.
This thing is stuck. Final puzzle of the game. This will be the ship mural. It's a 3x2 thing. And you've got like bright star, dim star, no star? Don't know what that thing's for, but okay. Right, let's go back to the mural. Yeah, like we knew that those things were going to come into play at some point, right? And as I explained in a previous episode, usually I'd have just taken a screenshot of all of them. But my screenshotting software doesn't play very nicely with Syberia 2 because Syberia 2, as well as Syberia 1, it just goes a little bit funny if the game is not in focus. So we are going to have to rely on our memory, or we'll go real old school and I'll just take a picture on my phone. Hang on, is that real old school? No, I suppose that's new school. Old school would be like pen and paper, right? New school. We might go new school. I'll take a picture of on my phone of my computer screen. Okay, here we go. Down into the ship. Are we going to leave our Yuki trapped inside that little hamster wheel forevermore? Maybe. Nah, we'll pick him up on the way out. Like, I presume we're going to do a return journey. Or maybe not. Maybe the game will just end. Okay. Right, let me take a pic. It's probably, not going to lie, it's probably going to be the one with the mammoth on it. Like, that'll be the one we try first. But there we go. Right, I've got 2 pics. So, is this going to be the end of Kate's journey? I mean, we've reached the destination. Hans wants to see the mammoths. I guess we've solved the great mystery of why the ship stopped turning up with all the mammoth meat. But, like, what killed off all of the Yukols? Mammoth plague. Man, that Yuki is cooked, isn't he? He's having a proper rest. Okay, down this way. Right, let's have a little look. So, the mammoth picture is... Now, I'm assuming that the bright star is going to be open. So, open, partly closed, open, open, closed entirely, and partly closed. Okay, that's not making a noise. So this is stuck there. We've got to put this ivory key in. Any clue on where that would be? So we've got 20 possible positions. Does putting that in open this up? It does.
Nope, that doesn't work.
Oh. Does this just control, like, where that ends up pointing? Okay. So is this like a wind collector? It needs to go into the wind? I would suggest that this is probably collecting the wind. There was a flag over this way. Is that to indicate to us which way the wind is coming from? It's hardly breezy, is it? But it's sort of coming from this direction. It's kind of coming towards the camera there. So let's try. Do you reckon the medallion is some kind of compass then? If I look at the medallion, is this like north? Well, I don't know which way I'm currently facing. But let's try like, I don't know, the arrow? This one? It's not quite what I had in mind. Now, when I looked at the medallion, this guy here, which is this one, is next to like the J and then the little maze, and then the one with the diode on it. Right, so here's the J, here's the little maze. Where's the one with the little diode? It's kind of hard to see. But yeah, it looks like it just goes round then, doesn't it? So maybe like if I do 2 more, is that going to move it a couple more that way? Yeah, okay. I reckon it's going to be something around that region. Just judging by where the flag is. Oh, wait, no, I didn't move it. Like, I don't see anything else to indicate where the wind is coming from. You can hear it now. Why would the mammoths come here? The Yukols harvested them for mammoth meat. But again, I suppose they were domesticated, were they? Hey, there are mammoths here. Well, my friends, that is the end credits. The end of Syberia 2. Wow. So Hans got to ride the mammoth in the end. And he sort of rides off into the distance. There are a couple of details I'm confused on. Most notably, probably, that the Yukols are all gone? Question mark. So, where is Hans riding to? I mean, to an extent, this is a culmination of his life's dream. So, maybe it doesn't matter. He's riding off into inevitability. He's going to go live with the mammoths. Cool. That's good. As far as Kate goes, well, Kate, I suppose, can now return to the Yukol village. She presumably can take the ship and return back to the Yukol village. And given that all the Yukols on Syberia are gone, she could take enough ivory with her to be as rich as Croesus. Although obviously the ivory trade is terrible and should not be encouraged. But yeah, it does make me wonder what Kate is then going to decide to do now that Hans and his story have concluded. It really makes me wonder, like, where they go with Syberia 3, to be honest. Because, like, that's definitely very much the end. So Syberia and Syberia 2 came out like a year apart from each other. It might have been even closer than that. So these are definitely two halves of a story. Syberia 3 had like a 12-year gap or something. So I have no idea what they would plan to do for Syberia 3. Well, let me know in the comments below, is Syberia 3 worth giving a go? I know that the reviews are mixed, let's say. So we'll see. In any case, we'll certainly be taking a break from Syberia for a while. What did we think of Syberia overall? It's nice. It's a nice story. It's a very wholesome story, isn't it? Like, it's very kind of grand in the scope of the adventure, whilst at the same time nothing's really under threat. There isn't some world-ending catastrophe about to befall everyone. You know, the tentacles aren't invading or anything like that. It's a very personal story. And I kind of like that. It makes it a little bit more... I would say it makes it a little bit more pedestrian, but I mean that in a positive way. It makes it like a much more, you know, a cozier, more personal story. The subplot about the PI trying to track Kate down, totally pointless? Question mark? Like, that never paid off with anything? And in fact, all of the little scenes we got of, like, her boss being irrationally worried, well, maybe not irrationally worried, but, you know, very worried, it never really came to anything, did it? So that's a little weird, especially given that, you know, once you've faxed back the contract for the Voralberg factory at the end of the first game, you know, call it what you want, you know, an extended leave of absence, or maybe she just quit her job or whatever, right? But, like, I don't know, to go and send a private investigator to, like, chase after her, it seems a little bit extreme. Especially given that she's still got phone signal. Just, like, just give her a call. She's still there. So yeah, kind of interesting, and weird that nothing ever came of it. I was expecting a story beat where the PI would eventually catch up to us, and that never happened. So that was a little odd. But, you know, as far as, is it as good as Syberia 1? I would say yes. Like, they're very similar. It'd be very hard to separate the two. I do see what people say when they say that these are just two halves of a story. I think Syberia 1, I liked the environments and the personality of the people we met in Syberia 1. Syberia 1, possibly because of technical limitations, not sure, felt a lot more empty than Syberia 2. Because there were whole environments where there would be like 1 or 2 people to speak to. And that kind of gave the impression of this route to Syberia being essentially totally abandoned. Like Barrackstadt, the university, having like 5 students in it, gave it a real sense of a place that was past its peak. And we had some commenters on the first game talking about things like, the decay of civilization and visiting these places that are progressively more and more past their prime. You visit the factory at Komskoltsgrad, which literally has 1 person still living in it. You've then got Helena Romansky's rehabilitation hotel that appears to have like 3 guests in the whole place. And that kind of adds to the eeriness of the first game, which I thought was really good. The second game, they've added a lot more bystander type characters, which you can't speak to, you can't interact with. But it means that, like, now I'm going to really have to test myself on the names of all of these locations. The last town before Syberia, Romansburg, I think it was called, actually felt comparatively like quite a busy little town in comparison to Barrackstadt, Komskoltsgrad, or the Spa, right? And so I think I prefer the environments in the first game. The tone of it kind of felt a lot more isolating. Wasn't a big fan of Igor, the Ivory Hunter, kind of being a recurring antagonist. That kind of felt a little bit forced, to be honest. The puzzles were, just as good as the first game. Like, there's definitely some thinky puzzles in there. There's definitely a few pixel hunty puzzles as well, which I'm not as big of a fan of. But there's definitely some good puzzles in there. And yeah, the music, still great. The acting, still great. The writing, really good. And I'll repeat what I said at the end of the first game. Kate Walker, brilliantly written character. Brilliantly written character. And considering the era this was written as well, early 2000s, you've got to kind of say that the writing's a bit ahead of its time there, right? Because you start off with Kate Walker being this woman who's got a whole bunch of trivial challenges at home in New York, and sort of what the game presents as kind of vapid friends, anodyne friendships, and a boyfriend who's just the worst. And she kind of grows into someone who's going on this grand adventure and who makes this big change. Now, we got less of that in the second game. The first game is more about Kate's transformation. The second game, Kate feels more like she has made her transformation and is now acting upon her new motivations. So it feels like maybe there was less character growth in Kate herself in the second game than in the first game, but the overall plot, I think, works really well with her growth. And the second game is far more, I think, focused on Hans in a way and his determination to get to Syberia at all costs. Obviously, Hans basically didn't feature in the first game at all. He was just a person that we were trying to track down. So yeah, so maybe the second game is slightly a little bit more focused on Hans and his motivations. Oscar, of course, gone, R.I.P. in peace, Oscar. Yeah, really interesting character was Oscar. It's definitely a little bit sad that like the first time he leaves the train is to go and give himself up for his creator. Hashtag justice for Oscar, robot rights now. And that's gonna be that. That's what I thought of Syberia. Yeah, it's a nice game. It's a nice game. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much for the recommend, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Next week in this time slot, we're going to be starting a new game. It's going to be a puzzle game slash physics-based puzzle game. And I don't mean physics like, oh yeah, you do a little bit of simple mechanics, change the seesaw orientation. I found a puzzle game by scouring the puzzle game subreddits that is heavily inspired by particle physics. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. We're going to check it out next week. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Have a great week. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. This has been Syberia 2. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.